Hello viewers, and here we see the new Retron 5. I say new, it came out towards the latter half of 2014. It's a console that's been discussed for a long time that enables you to play your old retro games and play them on an HD TV in 720p. So here we have the packaging, very slim box when you compare it to my old Mega Drive box, which was probably about 3 times the size. Inside, of course, we have the new controller, wireless controller. Plug it in, charge it. Quite square, lots of clicky bits, and we have the whole switches that we used to have on the Neo Geo years ago, on the buttons as well. Curiously, as I get out all the other wires, that's what you saw there. So all the standard wires, and we look at the detail on it as well. And there we go. Just here the little switches. The L and R buttons are a bit clunky, but they're okay, they're functional, so the pad is functional enough. Then onto the console itself, and here we see it with the control pad ports on the side. Not that big, given it uses all the different systems, so we can see some different views of it. I've gone for the black one. SD card slot there, just in case you want to add some extra ROMs and stuff, and memory I think you can save on there, I believe. Then we have just a look at the different angles of the console. See the control pad ports on the side. You can use your original controllers on this. I'm going to investigate everything that this system does over the course of the next few weeks. We're going to have a plan is to have a retro video every Wednesday, at least for a few weeks, as we go through some of the old classics, and there's the system. So, just to go over what it plays, obviously old Mega Drive games, I've got millions of those. We pop in, let's just see how it slots in. This is my first time using it. Still a bit tight, but it's alright, it's working well. Plays your SNES games. And again, it plays Mega Drive games anywhere around the world, and SNES games as well. So it doesn't matter what region of games you've got here. NES games, lovely, they go in there as well. Very impressive, the NES games, I have to admit. And Famicom, I have lots of those as well. That's good. And of course your GBA games, they go in the front. So there it is, multi-purpose action. That's just what you need. So these games I'll be looking at, of course, playing them in separate videos in the weeks to come, no doubt. Only the racing games on the VV channel, but I will be looking at some of the others on elsewhere on another channel. I'll decide which when. So this video is looking at the Mega Drive first. Mega Drive games. All this footage you see here is running on the Retron 5. I've recorded it myself. And wow, look at the clarity of your old Mega Drive carts running here on this video. 720p. I've upscaled it in terms of video production to 1080p, but either way, looks absolutely fantastic. And we're going to go through some of the extra features available on the console and look at some of these games as well in the coming weeks in a bit more detail. So I'll go through some of those. Virtua Racing there, playing that as well. Looks so dated now, you just wouldn't believe how good it was at the time. Unlike Ayrton Senna's Monaco Grand Prix, which has dated very badly, but then again I always felt it was a little bit overrated at the time anyway. So Mega Drive games, lots coming on those in the next few weeks, and I think the first one we're going to be looking at is Hang On. I'm going to have a little bit of that later in the video. So on to gameplay then. I'm using Streets of Rage 2. It's not a racing game, no, but it's a really good default game to see what works and how it affects the game. I've played this game so much because it's amazing, and it's a shame they don't produce scrolling beat-em-ups like this anymore, because it really was you know, a great genre for the time. So you put in your car, all works. You select the region in the main menu. The main menu can't be recorded by my PVR. It crashes my PVR, so I can't record the main menu, but you can record, you can change the system so you can have it as Japanese bare knuckle 2, or switch it as I have to the UK to Streets of Rage 2. I'm going to go into the game. We'll use Axel because he's handy, and here we have the game, my Mega Drive kart, running at 720p. Very clear indeed. It looks a lot clearer on my nice big 42-inch TV than it does here, but either way, looks really great. Now there are lots of filters you can use, as I just feel the need to just punch it for you guys. Feels good. I'm using the wireless controller, just learning the buttons. And now we'll pause it and we'll look at the menu, and we have a scan lines. Scan lines are on now, as you can see. Makes a big difference to the video. I personally play a lot of the games with scan lines on. It's just what I like, it's what I'm used to. It gives it an authentic feel, adds a touch more shading. But now we're going to look at the filters. We'll turn the scan lines off for the process of this, and you can see how it sort of blurs the image a bit more. We're going to go through a few of these filters that are on here. There's a whole range of filters just to try and alter the visual look. Super 2x scaling, and you can see more like almost like a cartoon now. It's an interesting effect, certainly, and it adds to some games more than others. This one isn't too bad, actually. It looks pretty cool with some of the effects on it. Some games don't work as well. You'll need to experiment. Super Eagle here, and again, just alters the clarity of the images, how the pixels blur. We need these guys. Don't really want to kill them yet. We want to move on, or beat them up at least, and put the scan lines on again and change the scaling back. So it's just, again, you know, you add the scan lines and it just changes the look of it again. So you know, there's finding a balance between everything. But either way, your Mega Drive games have never looked so good. That's Genesis for our US viewers, of course, but they've never looked so good. Absolutely fantastic. And I've enjoyed just going through these different filters. Turning to the main menu, and you see there is a main console menu as well as these different settings as well. So different features you can attach. You can alter the aspect ratio. Obviously we've got it running in 4:3, but you can change it to 16:9, as you can see there. Obviously it stretches the image out, so I'm not so keen on it myself. I think it alters the image, but either way, some games don't look too bad, it has to be said. Some look worse than others. And that gives you an idea on how it looks. Just a bit too stretched for my liking. So we'll go back to the main menu and get rid of that. We've got a zoom, haven't we? That's it, zoom. Let's see zoom now, so you can zoom right in. So Axel was massive on my TV. I did this. Zoom looked pretty cool, but obviously it depends on the game you're playing. Some games might look okay. I mean, some of the sprites were quite small. What's brilliant though is the resolution is just so good. It zooms in, no degradation, absolutely fantastic. And the zoom is another handy sort of filter option in terms of how you want to play visually. Trying to give you everything you need, everything you want from it. We'll go back into the main menus. Just trying different filters. I'm going to turn those off. It's a little bit fiddly with the controls when you first use it. I just wanted to see here what it looked like with all the filters off in this zoom mode. Axel's never looked so big. Should have been using Max, and we've had a really big guy. Meaty action. So back into the menus. Let's see what else we have. So that's a stretch. We'll just put it back to normal now. And you can change the screen refresh rate, obviously, match game, 460 Hz option is in there. I haven't seen a massive difference in it, but it's there. Different sound controls. I've since turned off the menu sound options. These were quite loud. I've had to actually mute these down a small amount to balance the audio. They're very loud. And then to system, console region, you can see they're set to Europe. So all the options you need in terms of running your old games. And obviously this video focuses very much getting the system out of the box and just having a try out with it, seeing how it works. I'm using the Mega Drive first as default system, and then after this I'm going to focus on different systems. So we're looking at the SNES, NES, Famicom, and going from there. So it's on to just a quick tryout, and I was just looking at different ways in which I'm going to be filming the Retron 5. Some of the time I'm going to be using my original controllers, and I just wanted to experiment with, obviously I used the arcade power stick on the Mega Drive back in the day. Got that here, got it out last year, and Had a quick go on that on Outrun, some of you may remember. Outrun, so Hang On, some of you may remember. And so here we have it. A bit of a Hang On again. Look, you can see the resolution again. You know, it's so clear. It's just never looked this good. I mean, emulation, yes, I've seen emulation as clear for a long time, but when you take a cartridge that you've had sitting there for the best part of 25 years and you put it on and it runs in 720p really smoothly, it's surprisingly impressive. It should also be noted that games are running faster as well, which can make some games quite difficult. I found it's made Micro Machines really hard to play and not all that much fun, whereas some games just run, you know, beautifully now. So it really depends on what game you're running as to how fast they're running. I mean, we've got the 60-50 Hertz option, so perhaps if I try the 50 Hertz, it will slow down the system to the way it was back in the day. Certainly, Micro Machines at the moment isn't as playable at 60 Hertz or the automatic, which is what I had it set to. But either way, it's great to be able to use your old controllers on the system, and it just gives it that authenticity. You know, bang in your old cartridges, plug in your old controllers, your NES, your Super Nintendo controllers, and away you go. It's like you never left. And of course you have the wireless controller as well. If you just want to lounge back, it's very handy because that does have the home option and those options to it as well. And this is just part one, and there'll be more retro action from me very soon.